You wake up every day believing that if you try hard enough, plan carefully enough, and hold on tightly enough, nothing will fall apart. You tell yourself that control is safety, that if you manage every detail, anticipate every outcome, and guard every possibility, life will finally feel stable. But look closer. Beneath that effort, there is tension. Beneath that tension, there is fear. And beneath that fear, there is exhaustion. Because the truth is, control is heavy. It asks you to carry the impossible, the need to predict the unpredictable, to shape what was never yours to shape. And slowly, quietly, it drains you. You replay conversations in your head. You worry about outcomes that haven't happened. You cling to people, situations, and plans as if letting go would mean losing everything. But what if the very thing you're holding on to is what's holding you back? Imagine a river. It does not force its way through the mountain. It does not argue with the rocks in its path. It does not panic when it meets resistance. It simply flows. Around. Over. Through. Patient. Persistent and free. The river does not control its path, yet it always finds its way. Now compare that to your life. How often do you resist what is already happening? How often do you push against reality, hoping it will bend to your will? The harder you push, the more life seems to push back. And in that struggle, you lose something essential, your peace. Zen teaches something radically simple, yet deeply uncomfortable. Surrender is not weakness. It is alignment. It is the quiet understanding that not everything needs to be controlled to be meaningful. When you stop forcing life to go your way, you begin to notice it has its own way of unfolding. And sometimes, that way is far wiser than anything you could have planned. There is a story you tell yourself about what should have happened, about what could go wrong, about how things need to be. And without realizing it, you spend most of your life living inside that story, replaying the past, rehearsing the future, and missing the only moment that actually exists. Control thrives in this space. It feeds on what if and if only. It convinces you that if you just think harder, plan better, or prepare more, you can avoid pain. But life does not work that way. Pain comes, change comes, loss comes, and no amount of control can stop that. But here's what control also steals from you. It steals your presence. The laughter you didn't fully feel. The moment you didn't fully experience. The peace that was available, but ignored. Because your mind was somewhere else. Surrender is not about giving up on life. It is about returning to it. Fully. Completely. Without the constant need to rewrite what already is. Think about the things you're holding on to right now. A relationship that no longer feels right. An outcome you desperately want. An identity you're afraid to lose. You hold on because you believe letting go will break you. But what if holding on is what's breaking you? There is a quiet pain in clinging. It shows up as anxiety, as overthinking, as a constant sense of unease. You try to control how others see you. You try to control how life unfolds. You try to control the uncontrollable. And in doing so, you create suffering where there doesn't need to be any. Zen philosophy reminds us of something simple, yet profound. Everything is temporary. Every moment, every feeling, every situation, it all changes. When you accept this, something shifts inside you. You stop gripping so tightly. You stop fearing the natural flow of life. And in that release, you discover something unexpected: freedom. Surrender is not passive. It is not giving up. It is not indifference. Surrender is courage. It is the decision to trust life, even when you don't understand it. Even when things don't go your way. Even when the outcome is uncertain. It means showing up fully, doing your best, and then letting go of the result. It means loving without trying to control, acting without attachment, living without constant fear of what might happen next. This is not easy. In fact, it may be one of the hardest things you will ever do. But within that difficulty lies a quiet power. Because when you stop trying to control everything, you create space. Space for clarity, space for growth, space for life to surprise you. And often, what comes into that space is far more meaningful than anything you tried to force. What if the peace you've been searching for is not found in control, but in release? What if the answer is not in holding on tighter, but in loosening your grip. For so long, you've believed that control would protect you. But maybe, just maybe, it has been keeping you trapped. When you surrender, something remarkable happens. The noise quiets. The tension softens. The constant need to figure everything out begins to fade. And in its place, there is a stillness. A deep, grounded presence that does not depend on circumstances being perfect. This is the essence of Zen. Not controlling life, but experiencing it. Not resisting change, but flowing with it. Not fearing the unknown, but trusting it. And in that trust, you realize you were never meant to control everything. You were meant to live.